Okay, today we're working on lesson 7.5. Our question is, how does the size of the product, what's the product?
Answer to a multiplication
problem. Compared to the size of one factor when multiplying fractions. What are the factors?
2.
If the product is the answer, the two things you multiply to get the product. There we go. Okay, it says use one way. Let's see what this key says. Whoops. Multiplication can be thought of as resizing one number by another number, right? If you take 2 and you multiply it by 3, then you resize that to 6. 2 times 3 will result in a product that is 2 times as great as 3. What happens to the size of a product when a number is multiplied by a fraction rather than a whole number? One way, use a model. During the week, the Smith family ate 3/4 of a box of cereal. Shade the model to show 3/4. So take your pencil and quickly shade 3/4. Write an expression of 3/4 of one box of cereal. What does of mean when we say it?
Multiplication.
Multiply. So what are we going to put out there in that blank? 1. Will the product be equal to, greater than, or less than 1? What is the identity property of multiplication? Any number multiplied by 1 is that number. So, what are we going to put here?
Less than 1.
Because why?
Because 3/4 times 1 equals 3/4, which is 1/4 away from 1.
Very good. Less than 1. Okay? B. The Ling family has 4 boxes of cereal. They ate 3/4 of all the cereal during the week. So they ate 3/4 of each box. Because it says they ate 3/4 of all their cereal and they had 4 boxes. Shade the model to show 3/4 of 4 boxes of cereal. Write an expression, 3/4 of 4 boxes of cereal, or 3/4 times what?
1. 4. Oh, yeah.
Will the product be equal to, greater than, or less than 4?
Less than. Less than. Greater than.
How can it be greater than 4?
Less than. Less than.
If I have 4 3/4, if I have 4 3/4 of a dollar, so I have 4 75 cents, and I add those together, is it going to be greater than my $4?
No.
Than $4? No.
Less
Again,
than.
the product will be less than 4. And letter C down at the bottom, one way to use the model. The Carter family has only 1/2 of a box of cereal at the beginning of the week. They ate 3/4 of the 1/2 box of cereal. Shade the model to show 3/4 of 1/2 box. So, first we're going to shade 1/2 of the box. That's what they had. Okay. Then we're going to shade 3 of those 4. You may have any questions on that? We shaded half the box and then we shaded 3/4 of 1/2 of. Okay, so write an expression 3/4 of a box of cereal. That of is really the key. 3/4 of what?
Half.
1/2. Will the product be equal to, greater than, or less than 1/2, or greater than or equal to, less than 3/4?
Greater than.
How can you take half of something
Less than.
or 3/4 of something and have something greater than it? Look at this. I had half the pie. I shaded in 3/4. Is this purple part less than half?
Yes. No. No.
Is this purple part less than
Yes.
half of the pie? Yes.
Less than half.
And then is the purple part less than 3/4?
No. It's equal to. It's equal to.
Not 3/4 of the pie.
Oh, it's less than. Oh, it's just.
The product will be less than either factor. It says locate 3/4 on the diagram and shade the distance from 0. So 3/4, here's 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. Then graph a point to show 1 of or 1 times 3/4. Make sense? Locate 3/4 on the diagram and shade the distance from 0. Okay, so we're going to that same place to 3/4. Then graph a point to show 1/2 of 3/4. So 1, 2, 3/4. We've got to figure out where is halfway. Well, if we go in one, whoa. So we have two fourths right here, one here and one here, and then we need to be halfway of that. So our dot's going to be halfway between those lines, hopefully. Right there. That is 1/2 of 3/4. Four times 3/4. Locate 3/4 on the diagram and shade the distance from 0. Then graph a point to show 4 times 3/4. So we're going to go, here is 1 times 3/4. 1, 2, 3/4. 1, 2, 3/4. Now we have 3 times 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, I think I went 1 too far. Let's see. Okay, we're trying that last one again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 4 groups of 3/4 then is equal to the whole number 3. But that is also less than this first factor, right? But greater than the second factor. Complete each statement with equal to, greater than, or less than. The product of 1 and 3/4 will be what of 3/4? I take 1 times 3/4. And what is my answer going to be? 1 times 3/4. 3/4, so it's going to be equal to. The product of a number less than 1 will be blank, then 3/4, and blank, then the other factor. So now they're talking like 1/2. times 3/4. So what did we learn? It's going to be, if I have half of 3/4, it's going to be less than 3/4. And it's also going to be less than my other factor. The product of a number greater than 1, so this would be like our 4 times 3/4, will be what then 3/4? Go back and look at your picture of your last little number line. Is your final dot greater than 3/4?
Mm-hmm.
So greater than 3/4 and blank than that whole number factor. Is it
Less than.
less than? This is number 1 on page 309. 4 times 7/8 will be blank, then 7/8. They shaded in 7/8, but they showed us what 4 times is, so this is what? Then 7/8.
Greater than.
Greater than. Okay, we're going to use this space at the bottom to look at the two problems, 2, 3, and 4 real quick. 3/5 times 2/7 it will be blank 3/5. If you look at this, we're taking part of 3/5, right? We're not taking one whole of 3/5. We're just taking part of that 3/5. So it's going to be greater than or less than?
Less than.
It's going to be less than that. Okay? Number 3, 5/8 times 6 will be then 5/8. If I have 6 groups of 5/8, is that not going to be what?
Greater.
Greater than 1 5/8. Whoops. Now let's look at number 4 on the Sharon Schoen through 2/3 times 5/5. When we have a fraction where the numerator and the denominator are the same, what does that tell us?
It's a whole.
That it's a whole, right? If I have a pie that's cut into 5 pieces and I eat 5 of those pieces, I ate the whole pie. So we have 2/3 times 1, and that will be what?
Equal to.
Equal to 2/3. So be on the lookout for those fractions that are the same numerator and the same denominator. Let's look at this one, 6/11 times 1. That's number 9. I'm multiplying something times 1. What does that mean?
Less than. Equal to.
It's going to be equal to that same thing. 4 groups of 3/5. Greater than, less than, or equal to 3/5.
Greater than.
Greater than. I have 4 groups of them.